I like D&D.
Yeah, who would have guessed? The guy who made lore videos on the Omega Strikers cast also loves role-playing games. What's next, a buff guy who's into sports and steroids? Anyways, no, I did not clickbait you guys. I am indeed making the Strikers become adventurers in Pathfinder 2E. I have been a bit interested in Pathfinder, and while I have yet to play in it myself, I love making characters for when I do get to play it. So what is my goal for making these Pathfinder versions of the Strikers? Well, it's to make them as lore and gameplay accurate as I can without having to rely on stretches of imagination. I'll cover their ancestry, background, class, ability scores, and HP while justifying why they have them. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the characters in the roster would never be done through D&D's character system, so I'm pretty grateful for this massively customizable system Paizo has given us. I also will only be doing their characters at level 1 just to not make it too crazy. I will be doing one video per full team, meaning that as of now, Demon Drive and Clarion Core will be put on hold until they are a full team of 3. I will be going in team order, so the first team we'll be doing is Team Frostfire. The team members I go through are in roster order, so for example, I will go Juliet, then Dubu, and finish with Estelle. Anyways, without further explanation, let us begin this transformation into the fantastical, starting with the poster girl, Juliet.
Put me in the arena! I'm ready!
Juliet was the easiest of the 3 to make, and will probably be one of, if not the simplest character to transfer into Pathfinder. First off, Juliet is obviously a human, so she's going to be a human. Oh, spoilers for the rest of the creations, but a pretty good amount of the cast will be humans, so don't be surprised when someone is made human, okay? Cool. I gave her the skilled heritage since she worked her way to becoming a pro striker ever since she was a little girl, so yeah, of course she's skilled. For her ancestry's feat, I gave her natural ambition for the same reason as her heritage. Now for her background, I went with the warrior background since she's fought in the core strike arenas for such a long time and grew incredibly strong as she gained experience. This gives her a +1 boost to her strength or constitution, which really fits her considering she's a close quarters brawler in the game and has tier 1 stacker stats. Now onto her class. This was really easy to think of. I gave her the monk class because she just hits things over and over with her fists. With her big focus on strength and constitution, this easily synergizes with the class and will make her strikes hit even harder. Thanks to natural ambition, she gets 2 monk class feats instead of 1, and there were really only 2 to choose from. She doesn't need weapons, and she doesn't enter a stance, so I gave her both Key Strike and Key Rush. Again, Juliet wants to hit hard with Key Strike, and Key Rush is from the energy bar evasion that everyone gets. Finally, onto her ability scores and HP. Her strength is a +4, which will make her unarmed strikes deal hefty damage even at level 1. Big strength because she's really powerful, obviously. Constitution is a +3 since, again, her stagger is tier 1, giving her great survivability. Her dexterity is a +1. She does have some ability due to her short dash and has the evasion, but that's all she really has. Charisma is also a +1 since she is an up-and-coming rookie who got the eyes of a rich mogul to be signed on to become a pro player. And both wisdom and intelligence are neutral since she's never really shown any big signs of intellect or judgment. Her total health pool after all this is a whopping 21 hit points. So yeah, Juliet can definitely dish out the damage, but also can take it right back. Pretty fitting for her, no?
Dubu!
So remember when I said that D&D's version of character creation would make some characters impossible? Yeah, Dubu is one of them. Nothing in D&D so far, besides custom lineage, would be possible in making Dubu. Thankfully, heritages have come to the rescue in Pathfinder. For Dubu's race, I went with Rat Folk. Pathfinder doesn't have a hamster race either, so this was the best thing I could do for Dubu's starting race. But the heritage Beastkin can help with that. This can help us make Dubu by giving him this heritage and making his beast form a hamster. Problem solved! Background was difficult to choose for Dubu, but just from some lore crumbs that were dropped due to voice lines, I went with Prisoner. He most likely was a subject for Rasmus's experiments with Omega Energy, and being a lab rat is like being a prisoner for many animals. The background gives Dubu a boost in strength or constitution, which would easily help him out in becoming tanky. Class is something you may think is hard to decide, but after reading some of the classes, Kineticist was an easy fit. He always seems to have an abundance of wooden logs and bowls with him when he goes on the core strike field, so I made him a single gate wood kineticist. His class feat is weapon infusion, since Dubu is most likely hitting people with logs, while his impulse feats are timber sentinel and hardwood armor, since his logs and bowls are used as shields against the core. For ability scores, Dubu gets a +4 in constitution, giving him some great survivability and damage potential with energy blast. Dex and Wisdom are at a +2, since he was able to get away from the crutches of Clarion Core and not be found by them, while also getting help from Juliet and having good judgment to stay with her. Intelligence is a +1 since Dubu has a higher intellect than any other hamster, solely for being able to talk and understand speech. Finally, his charisma and strength are neutral since Dubu hasn't really performed any extraordinary feats using his strength. And Dubu can't really talk more than as a Pokemon, so I doubt his charisma would be useful. And finally, Dubu's HP comes out to an 18. A bit squishier than Juliet, but that's most likely because of his hamster physique. Still a tank and can help out his friends, but isn't as sturdy as Juliet.
Why the hesitation?
Oh boy. This one and most other magic users are gonna be a pain in the ass to choose their class. We still don't know how exactly magic works and how certain characters got their abilities, including Estelle. So just bear with me on my class choice for her. Once again, for ancestry, Estelle is human, but unlike Juliet, I gave Estelle the versatile heritage due to her skills in both Core Strike and modeling. This gives her a free general feat, so I went with recognized spells, since she definitely has seen and learned how Era and Kai magic work. For ancestry feat, I went with natural skill for how prey she is in both Core Strike and modeling. Estelle's background is entertainer. This was pretty easy to decide on, since she's always wanted to give the crowd a show, both in the arena and on the runway. This gives her a boost in either dexterity or charisma. I went with the latter because of how influenceable and attractive she is. Now for her class. I decided to go with the sorcerer with the Earth Elemental bloodline. All of her abilities have to do with using crystals in some way, and unless we are given context as to why Estelle has her magical abilities, she is staying as a sorcerer. This is not a warning, this is a threat. Sorry. Earth Elemental Sorcerers change the fire spells that they get from their class into bludgeoning damage, so it makes it possible for Estelle to have spells such as Fireball and have it used as a boulder made of crystals. For her ability scores, I gave Estelle a +4 to her charisma. She was an icon for wannabe strikers and was able to transfer her work into modeling when she retired, so she definitely has the ability for social work to do what she wants. Her dexterity is a +2 since despite being a warp, Estelle doesn't really travel far using that. But combining this along with the evasion helps her get this score. Her strength, intelligence, and wisdom are all +1 since she's more about being agile and wooing the crowd with incredible shots than using brute force to force a goal in. She is still pretty strong considering she was champion at such a brutal game and definitely knows that she can trust her new teammates to reclaim her throne, so I'll give her those. Finally, her constitution is neutral. She has mid-tier stagger stats and can go down pretty easily if caught off guard, so that's why. Her HP is brought to a very small total of 14. This honestly fits her since she doesn't really want to get into combat unless she knows she can get a kill. And her being the midfielder / scorer of Team Frostfire really rounds out the composition. And that's all of Team Frostfire transferred into Pathfinder 2e. Be sure to tell me if you think these fit the characters or if you think something about them should be changed. It could be their ancestry, background, class, or subclass. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help me out with the algorithm and know when I make new videos. Next video in the series will be of the Ember Monarch, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, keep on striking.